Numeracy is where you're taking, to me, my definition of numeracy, and you can get lots of them out there in different readings and things like that. But numeracy to me is taking a piece of maths concept, a maths skill, a bit of maths knowledge, and using it to solve a problem.
There's a lot of misconceptions about mathematics and numeracy and what's different. So numeracy is how you use your knowledges in the real world to make sense around you. So that can be within a school context across all your different learning areas, but in life it's about filling up the petrol. It's about making financial decisions, and that's sort of at the everyday level. But then you have specialist careers in mathematics where you then apply high-level mathematics to make sense within that context. So again, numeracy is the use of knowledge within a real-life context.
Actually, ask any kid in your class, what's been the best maths teacher that you've had? And I suppose most of them will come back with, yes, there's that relationship, they can understand what the teacher is actually teaching them. But often the one common factor will be, my teacher has been able to explain something in different ways.
To be an effective maths teacher, you need to be able to connect with your students. So you need to, yes, have a strong mathematical knowledge base. You need to have a love of mathematics, and you need to be able to understand pedagogy and how to connect that with your learners. And it's only through that connection and that pedagogy that you then see growth. The other key attribute of a maths teacher is a growth mindset. And that is to say that while I might not be able to do it now, I will be able to do it in the future. And that helps students overcome this fear of mathematics.
Procedural knowledge to me is probably the way that 90% of you people who are sitting here looking at this have been taught yourselves, okay? And that's, unfortunately, procedural knowledge often is what you get off the web as well. So a teacher goes into a class, and today we're going to do some trigonometry. So they go to Google and they type in sine and cosine rule or something like that. And what do they get? They get a procedural worksheet, okay? The kid is taught step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and you've got that procedure. Conceptual is where somebody is teaching an idea, a concept. What is a half? So what am I going to do to get that picture in the kid's head about what a half is? What can I get them to cut up? Can I bring in the pizza? Can I do the cake? A lot of the time, kids' difficulties and disinterest with maths is because they've been taught very procedurally and the conceptual knowledge hasn't been built in the outset.
So the Australian curriculum is currently structured to support students in developing procedural and conceptual knowledge. So we have strands and substrands within the curriculum. We have content that is obviously designed to develop content, but what's wrapped around this are key ideas or proficiencies. And that's the processes that we use when we're playing with or learning mathematical knowledge. So one of those is to develop an understanding of a concept. And so you have to be able to connect concepts together to be able to understand. The next one is to have a fluency, and that's to be able to demonstrate particular processes efficiently and pick the most efficient process for a particular problem or situation. We have then reasoning, where we articulate and can justify our decisions, and we have problem solving, where we can apply it. So as students move through utilising these proficiencies with the content, they move to then be able to demonstrate procedural knowledge, which is being able to apply particular processes, and the conceptual knowledge, where they can draw on a range of concepts and apply them within unfamiliar situations. And that's deep conceptual learning. There is a big perception that there is classroom mathematics and there is real-world mathematics. And so a challenge for teachers is overcoming that divide. And we do that by using problem solving. So positioning that pedagogy and that inquiry and looking at familiar context first of all, that may be based within a classroom context, but then moving into unfamiliar real-world contexts. So bringing in the problems that sit within the world into the classroom for students to be able to see that maths is all around you, and actually the skills of mathematics are sometimes messy, they're fun, they're collaborative, you can share all different thinking, and it's not just about one answer.